Our next story is about Silicon Valley's biggest fraud, Elizabeth Holmes. She was once called the next Steve Jobs. She was the world's youngest female billionaire until the truth about her came out. Holmes has been found guilty of fraud. She duped high-profile investors and pushed a technology that endangered patients. Here's her story.
Elizabeth Holmes was just 19 years old when she dropped out of university. She had a dream of creating a company that would revolutionize blood testing. The result was Theranos. Holmes said she was building an iPod for medical tests, but behind the scenes, she was hoodwinking high-profile investors. Her inventions didn't work, and lives were put at risk. Holmes has been found guilty on 4 of 11 fraud charges. She is also guilty of knowingly misleading investors. Holmes was the youngest self-made female billionaire in history. Now her own invention is putting her behind bars. It is called the Edison. Holmes claimed this device could run hundreds of tests with a single drop of blood. She claimed Edison would be able to detect serious conditions like cancer and diabetes without needles. The promise was to disrupt a $60 billion blood testing industry. At its peak, Theranos was valued at $10 billion. Some high-profile names invested and lost money in the company. Media baron Rupert Murdoch lost $125 million. Former U.S. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos lost $100 million. Even former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger was duped. His loss was $3 million. On the face of it, the Edison was a promising device, but powerful people invested in the company without looking at its financials. This expose in 2015 lifted the veil off Theranos. It revealed how the technology didn't work at all.
What the company was doing was misrepresenting the truth about how effective their tests were. They went to the extent of using, older machinery, traditional machinery, and then pretending it came from their machine. So they were lying, knowingly lying about the efficacy, about the quality of their test results.
Holmes said the Edison would handle more than 240 tests. In reality, the device was useful only for 15 tests. Patients were misled. Investors were given an exaggerated report on the company's performance. The house of cards collapsed in 2018 when Theranos went under.
It's a wake-up call to Silicon Valley or to anybody out there, any business owner out there who makes statements that are misrepresentations or false or fraudulent. They need to be very careful about what they say to people, make sure that it's truthful and they can back it up, and that their website, the statements they make on websites and their agreements are truthful. Because wire fraud is no joke, and you're looking at up to 20 years in prison on each count.
Once the toast of the Silicon Valley, Holmes now faces up to 20 years in jail. This case only proves that old adage true: all that glitters is not gold. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.